Hey there, EndorsedModel here, and I want to share with you 5 tips and tricks that I've found useful and that I think every builder on Roblox should know. So my first tip has to do with speed, and that is that you should learn hotkeys in Studio. What do I mean by that? If you don't already know, hotkeys are just simple key combination on your keyboard that lets you quickly select a tool. So for me right now, we've got basic tools up here on the left, and I have my scale set to Alt 3. If I press Alt 3 on my keyboard, it'll change to scale. And have this set up for all my basic tools, plus a few others that I'll show with you in a minute here. I believe the basic tools are set by default. If you would like to change them, or any of the shortcuts, you can go File, Advanced, Customize Shortcuts, and then you can easily search. So we can search for Scale or Rotate, and we can look them up and change them there. So this allows you to quickly move and quickly switch between different things and speed up your process a whole lot. 1 or 2 shortcuts that I would highly suggest adding are your rotate and move increments. When you look them up, you go File, Customize Shortcuts, you will see rotate as rotate edit, and the other one as move edit. And those two are super useful. Because it will, so right now I'm on a 1 move scale. I can hit Shift 2, which is what I've set it to, and you can see that it highlights the move increment, and I can change it to 4. I'll just type in 4, hit enter, and now it will move 4 at a time. So this allows me to, having both that and the normal tools, allows me to quickly switch between which tool I'm using and switch my scale and even rotate. I can do it with rotate as well. Set it from 45 down to 5. Now we have fine increment, set it back, and now we have 45. So that just speeds up the process a whole lot for me. It might take a little while to learn it, but in the end, it's definitely worth it. And it's just a few tools. These are the main ones. Most of the other tools, you can add them if you want, you don't need to. The only other one you might find useful that you might use a lot, especially if you're playtesting your place quite a bit, is just going over to your test tab and just checking out the different shortcuts for playtesting your place. My second tip is to use plugins. So right here, I'll use this as an example. So we have 2 parts here, and I'm going to rotate this one and go over to my plugins. So plugins, you go to Manage Plugins. You can find all of your plugins that you've got, update them. You can find plugins by going to Roblox and then going to the Create tab at the top, Library, Plugins, and then you can just search here for plugins that are available. A couple of plugins that I've got are just like a basic gap fill, which lets me quickly fill in gaps between parts, like so. I've also got resize, which lets me align 2 faces perfectly along that edge. And then a material flip, and this one I find most useful or when working with wood materials. It lets me flip the wood grain really quickly, and it's just a whole lot faster than having to resize and rotate your part to get the material to line up how you want. It's also useful for stuff like flooring if you want it to go a different way. Now, tip number 3 is when you're working with a lot of models, it is a good idea to vary the coloring a bit, even if you're not working with it a whole lot. I'm going to use this tree as an example here. Right now, we can see the wood is all the same color and the leaves are all the same color. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to quickly grab some of the leaves here. Go. Just like that. And I'm just going to change those to a dark green. And right away, that already looks a lot better. We could even take these branches and make them a little bit different color. So already, that looks a whole lot better. We could scale it up a bit as well. Give it some rotation. And right there, that sets it apart from all the other trees, and you could always make, a few different variations of it. This tip is especially important when you're working with organic and natural stuff, such as, rocks or trees, foliage, and all those things. My fourth tip is to use meshes or unions. We have all of our basic parts here, but sometimes you need something a little more complex, and that's where you open up your toolbox. You could search for something like a mesh pack, something like this. I'll just drag that over there, and this will give you a bunch of other somewhat basic shapes that are not necessarily readily available as part of your basic parts. As you can see here, we look, they're a little small, but there's some very large mesh packs in here. So you can find a whole variety of shapes to suit your building needs. My final tip is to build with a theme in mind. This is a build that I did a while ago in a steampunk theme. I had a lot of fun building it. But as you can see, I picked a bit of a color scheme, and then I stuck to some steampunk elements. If you're having trouble, coming up with ideas for stuff, you can always look up reference pictures and things like that. This here is a modern hotel room that I built, and this one was actually based off of this reference picture here that I found. And then from that, I created this room, and then also added a bathroom onto it. You don't necessarily need like an entire room. I remember when I built this specific bathroom, I used a variety of different reference photos. I believe I used the mirror. I really like the mirror design in one. Then each of these towel racks was a different photo that I found. The main thing when looking for stuff is just try and keep it a consistent theme, so you can always put like, modern bathroom window or modern bathroom, mirror or hanger, things like that, modern bedroom, and just see the different designs that people have come up with. You could always do like rustic or urban or something like that. Just to give you an idea, here is another room that I built with off of another picture at the same time. It's actually really fun and can be really inspiring to go look up reference pictures, so I would highly suggest it if you're having trouble coming up with ideas or you just need a little bit of inspiration. One last bonus tip is just to have fun. I had a lot of fun in building these, modeling them after the photos I found, and just finding cool reference photos. And really, if you enjoy what you're doing, it makes it go a lot smoother, and it's a lot easier to do. It's still challenging sometimes to figure out how to design stuff, but it's a lot more enjoyable when it's something that you're interested in. And so I would just leave that with you guys to have fun. And if you want to check out some of my other videos, you can go to my channel here, and I will see you in the next video.